Last time I've gone ahead and shaded the under shading so we can move along a little faster. What we're going to do now is add our next color. Just like we did on the scale above, we're going to come in and work right on top of this under layer, which was put down just like we did our value scale yesterday. Okay, so what I'm going to do again is start and build in and concentrate mostly on the core shadow on this. I don't want to pull it through everything. I'm just going to keep the core shadow going fairly dark, and I can build a second layer color. Since this is my darker value, I'm going to just put it here in the core area. And then I'm going to show you how to add a third hue. And that third hue is going to come in on top and go more into my highlight area. And you'll see how we can pivot the sphere and begin to build up some really rich layers. Keep the paper visible, right? Keep that going for me. I do have to turn my page just a little bit in order to sit here and work. So I'm going to kind of fade this in. Remember, the 9 is only in the cast shadow. That's where your darkest values are. And if you can stick to those rules, you'll get a better result. So let's go ahead and pick up a third value. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go with kind of a light peach or pink. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and sharpen that again. Always keep your pencils sharp. You'll get a better result if you keep them sharp. And then I'm just going to kind of shade this in. Remember, shading is working to create something that's 3D, okay, chiaroscuro, the Italian word for dark to light, and that's what we're going to do here. Now again, I'm going to get an edge there, so I'll have to come back like I do on my value scale and pull that in softly, so the transition is very soft. We don't want this hard edge here. And another thing that I'll do, and a lot of students will forget to do this, is go with the curve of the sphere so it doesn't flatten. So I'm going with the curve here and beginning to layer. This is a process that will probably take longer than my video has time for. So you will just have to kind of continue to layer and build up your piece. I'm going to go ahead and put a little down here in the reflected light and come over. And I'm sure you're not seeing a lot of change in value, but it's starting to work. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is a cone or a shape that is like a cone. Okay, we're going to start with a triangle shape. I'm not going to use a ruler here. I'm just going to kind of make that up. And I'm going to kind of sketchy, but I'm going to curve the bottom so my triangle will look a little bit more like a cone. I'll think about my light source still coming from this side. So this side over here is going to be darker, and this side will be lighter. So I'm going to keep the same light source on this page. Now I'm going to cast the cone shape more like a triangle. I'm going to let it go on off the page. So I have that kind of working for myself. Just for today, I'm just going to keep the same set so you can keep the same idea. Now again, I turn the page from my hand. I'm thinking about here, and I'm going to go dark. And it's easier for me to lift up, so I usually go dark to light. There will still be reflected light back there. I'm getting a little bit big on that. And what I mean by big is my strokes are getting a little bit big because I'm getting in a little bit of a hurry. That happens when I demonstrate. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Stay back on the pencil and lift. Now it's not rounding very much because it's a first layer. I do want to get a little edge here. It's going to be a little dark to the back. And then the most of this side is going to be kind of light. And now I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit darker. There's a page in your slides that we'll be looking at that will have some different geometric shapes for you to practice. And you'll fill in your page today with a variety of geometric shapes. Some of you will move really fast and you'll get 1 or 2 shapes done. Some of you might get 4 or 5, maybe even 6, 7. Okay, and some really cool organic shapes, or maybe even be able to start the tubes today. Our intent with this assignment is that you learn to draw and create a variety of forms using shading to make them 3D. Okay, and the shading will be done with color. We could also do these all in graphite. But we're going to start with color just for entertainment purposes, because I think it's more exciting if you have a variety of color. Okay, my pencil's getting a little dull, so I'm going to have to get up on the tip. If you get on the tip, you can get some really good edges. And then I'm going to work with the pressure, make it darker, and pull it light. Now I'm not going too dark, but I'm going dark enough that I continue to layer.